Alright, everybody. So here we are, we're back for One Piece. This is gonna be another big one. It's kind of like the Alabasta, where it's such a huge chunk of the show that it's not gonna be as much of a breakdown review as much as like what I liked, what I didn't like, what I remember, kind of thing. So we're gonna be talking about Skypiea, and Skypiea is an event. Let me tell you. Just from being on the internet since, I found out a lot of people skipped it. And I don't know if it for some reason it wasn't canon, or if some people thought it was too slow. I don't know why you would skip Skypiea. Cause I mean, it's long, but it's got some good stuff in it. And it's kind of important, some important stuff. So the Skypiea takes place over 43 episodes. So yeah, it's quite a bit considering that the whole first East Blue saga is 61. But it's big. So like I said, they leave Jaya, they ride the knock upstream. But I remember they get there to Heaven's Gates or whatever. And there's a lady there that says you gotta pay to get in. But she's like, you're supposed to pay to get in. And that's the way it works. She's like, I'm not going to make you pay. But if you don't pay, you're even going to become criminals. So she's like, it's against the law. I'm not going to enforce it, but I'm going to tattle on you. It's weird. And they're like, okay. They go. And, there's clouds everywhere. Before they get to Heaven's Gates, they might even get attacked. And they meet this old knight dude who rides a bird that ate a horse devil fruit or something. His name is what is his name? I have to know it because he's important. Ganfall. His name is Ganfall. He's the Sky Knight, protector of the sky. And he gives him a whistle. And they're like, hey, if you're ever in trouble, call me on this whistle. And then, like I said, they go through Heaven's Gates. And they arrive on this island. I don't remember what it's called. But they meet a father and daughter. Her name is Conus. I don't remember the dad's name. They take them in, and they show her this thing they call it a waiver. Nami's riding around on it. They get there, and they're inside, and there's these things there's seashells. They call them dials, and they have special abilities. There's communicating dials, an impact dial. There's all kinds of dials. And while Nami's out there, these people called the White Berets show up, and they're I guess they're the law enforcement, and they're like, y'all came here. I don't want to say y'all came here illegally. Y'all didn't pay to get in, and you gotta go, and you gotta pay this fine. And they're like, no. And then Nami shows back up, and she's like, this is too much money. And but Nami was out. She finds this giant island called the Upper Yard, and they mention it to Luffy and them I hope she doesn't go to the Upper Yard, that's where God lives. And they're all like, God? And they're like, yeah, God and his priests. And at this point, I'm like, oh, is this getting sacrilegious? As a Christian, I was like, this is making me uncomfortable. What are they doing? And they referred to this guy who some people call NL, and when I watched it dubbed, and they called him Inaru, so I'm gonna call him Inaru, even though when I read about him it's NL. They call him God, and he refers to himself as God, and they all refer to him as God. But God in Skypiea is title. It's king, the king, but they just call him God, because you find out later that Ganfall, that Sky Knight, was the former god. It's just whoever's ruling. And the person they get attacked by is part of some tribe that used to live there, I think on the Upper Yard, and then Inaru kicked them out. Just a lot of stuff. Like I said, it's huge. I'm not going to be able to remember all of it. What I remember is they go to the Upper Yard, they get split up, and one of the best things from One Piece happens, where Luffy is singing and this goat guy shows up and he wants to see the goat and he punches it and he's like, dang, I thought I was gonna get to see a goat. But the song he's singing is hilarious, and then that's hilarious, and that has always stuck with me within One Piece. I can remember, like, after just watching that episode, going and YouTubing that clip to show people, like, dude, this is hilarious, watch this. And the Inaru's priests have different powers. There's different, what do they call them, like, situations, different trials they have to go through. A big part of the story, the Mary takes a lot of damage, and like Usopp's like, I gotta fix it, and like he's looking at the Mary, he like after they get like knocked out or something, and he sees the Mary, and there's like someone fixing it, and he's like, hey, and he's like trying to call out to whoever's fixing the Mary, and like they don't ever say anything, and like that's like the end of it. That was a big thing. Usopp and Sanji get nerfed. Like, they get zapped by Inaru, and they're out like almost the whole season, the whole arc. Luffy ends up getting eaten by a giant snake to nerf him. And dude, I remember talking to one of my buddies, and like, I am so upset at this show right now because Inaru's power is lightning. Luffy is a rubber man. Like, it doesn't, like, he's literally like Inaru's weakness. And he's stuck in this freaking snake. It turns out Inaru's like giant, like, getaway ship is like an ark. So it's like there are biblical things there. And all I know is that, like I said, my boy Sanji came in clutch with the Mr. Prince thing in Alabasta. He comes in clutch in this one too. Luffy ends up with like a giant golden ball stuck on his thing, and there's something with a bell too. That has to do with Robin. She's reading the phonoglyphs and she hears about a bell, and like, I think even when she was reading it, she found out that Gold Roger had been there. It's such a huge arc. Like, I would have to be reading about it to tell you everything that happened. But all I know is Luffy ends up ringing the bell. I don't exactly remember how Inaru is defeated, but Luffy makes this shape as he's falling down, and then it casts over the sky. Like, remember when I told you on the Jaya arc, they saw these giant silhouette creatures, like Luffy becomes one of them. So then you find out that they were seeing some of the people up in Skypiea, because everyone in Skypiea has wings. I don't know, it's huge. I like Skypiea. There's actually a movie just called The Episode of Skypiea, so you can watch the movie without having to watch all 40 episodes. I'm sure it leaves some stuff out, but I'm sure the pacing is better. I personally haven't seen it, but yeah, I enjoyed Skypiea a lot. So the fact that people were skipping it is sad, and I've heard it's coming back into play. The season just ends with them falling out of the sky, I believe. And they're someone like Luffy like stole a octopus or something. So like the octopus like and like is holding on to the Mary, so it looks like a hot air balloon. And I'm pretty sure that's how Skypiea ends. Because I'm sure there's major plot details I left out. But like since then, Usopp now carries dials around, like the different dials. Like the impact dial for sure, but like the dials come into play, and yeah. I'm pretty sure that means we get to talk about G8 next. Let me know what you think about Skypiea in the comments below. Did you skip it? Did you not? What was your favorite part? And all that. And we'll see you next time.